Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Patriot Patch Company and Camarado. How's things going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
How about you, Mr. Noisy? I don't know where he went.
You mean the guy with his mute button on?
No, you didn't mute squat, buddy. Sorry. There was no muting. You were making noise.
Oh, sorry about that. No, just some more squirrel sorting.
Yeah?
That's all. That's
no webcam special. Hooking up, I see.
Yep. You got to do that on the air, don't you?
No.
So do I. But I do have my hat.
Yep.
Yep.
I love the smell of gunpowder.
Yep. I like my turkey well peppered.
There you go. Patriot Patch Company's Patch of the Month. Head over to patriotpatch.co. You can check out all the other good stuff they got going on there. If you want to join the Patch of the Month Club and help out Patreon or help out the podcast, you can swing over to our webpage, which is slow computer. firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2. And then when you get to our homepage, you can click on support this show. It'll take you over to Patreon, and you can sign up for the Patch of the Month Club there. Otherwise, you can just go to Patreon or patriotpatch.co and join up for Patch of the Month Club there, or you can just check out all the cool stuff they got going on over there. So Jake and Ryan got all sorts of cool stuff going on. Check it out. So you never know what they're going to add.
And don't forget, while you're at our website, check out Southern.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's a sale.
Ooh. See.
So. So. I really haven't done diddly squat with reloading because I was busy with work, stuff around the house. So, Paul, how about you?
Just going through some stuff, trying to figure out if I got any more brass laying around someplace, and sorting that out, and that's it. My big week was last week. Did about 2,000 rounds of stuff last week. So This week was just sorting ammo cans and ammo boxes out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jim,
Jim's wheel weight obsession continues.
Yeah. Well, got well over 1,000 pounds of wheel weight I got to go through. It's going to take me a while longer.
There you go.
Each bucket's at least 80 to 100 pounds.
So you melted it
as you go? How I loaded it, how I unloaded it, I don't know. I wouldn't try it now.
Paul asked, are you melting it as you go?
Yeah, you could. Only thing is, you got to watch. You still got to sort as you go throw them in the pot, because if they're wet, they're going to steam explode. If they're oily, they're going to create a gas explosion, and so on and so forth. Besides that, the iron just float on top of the lead. I'm not sure. The zinc tries to alloy itself into the lead. That's why you got to sort them out to begin with.
Yeah.
I just melt them.
You don't want to melt lead and zinc together, Paul.
Okay.
I've got pots sitting here that I ruined doing exactly that.
Okay.
I have to see if I can't melt the zinc and the lead down, get it hot enough so it's liquefied, pick up the pot, pour everything out, make sure I burn the hell out of my feet, and move on from there.
Why you want to be like Jason?
Yeah. What we're talking about, Jason, if we're going to beat him up, even though he isn't here,
That's
that
right.
boy was out there
It's his fault.
in California. He was casting bullets in shorts and sandals. He got some between his toes and some right on top of his right leg. Probably carries a scar from that burn to this day.
Oh, I'm sure. No, Jim, what you could do as you're going is use your snips, your side cutters, or dikes, whatever you want to call them.
Like,
I always call them dikes.
my
And you
power
check for
works
lead.
because it's
If
big
it's
enough.
lead, you toss it in your melting pot. If it's not lead, you throw it off to the side.
Right,
Yeah.
I do. That's exactly what I've been doing.
Well, that's
Well,
what
you
we're
get
saying
like-
is melt them as you go.
Yeah, okay. Well, the thing is, if you get a 5 ounce lead wheel weight, I still have enough strength left in my hands that I can actually bend the damn wheel weight. And then I know it's lead. Zinc, don't bend. It
Mhm.
breaks.
But isn't that what your nippers are for?
Yep.
Just to put a little cut into them to see if they're lead or not.
If it cuts
Mm-hmm.
if it cuts at all, it's lead. If it doesn't cut, it's zinc.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if it's magnetic, it's iron.
Mhm.
I have
Yeah.
3 ways of checking that wheel weight. Each one.
It's going to take you a long time to go through 1,000 pounds.
Yes, sir. But I did one bucket in one afternoon.
Okay. And how much lead
But
did
like
you
I
get out of
said,
it?
I have a magnet right there to take and pull a lot of it out to begin with. You get a large rare earth magnet, pull the metal down. The only thing is, you got to watch for you do it in bulk like that. Is the clips might be attached to a lead wheel weight.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can just take those out later because
Yeah.
True.
the steel won't melt. It'll melt the
It'll
lead
float.
off the steel, and then you just wait till the steel, and you just treat it like dross and sift it off.
Yeah.
Right. I have done exactly that, Mike. I have for a fact done exactly that.
Mhm.
Yeah, these little tips and tidbits about casting go in real good with this hunting safety and holiday deals theme of the show. More on the order of reloading safety than anything else. Reloading and casting safety, but I might put it up
We're
there.
gonna do some casting later. I got to get stuff
Yeah.
set up for it, and then we'll actually do some
Yep.
casting. So
Now, when I was melting lead and sorting through things, I'm kind of made like a slide to put the stuff on. So I would right hand put the wheel weights that had lead in them onto that slide and let them slide into my pot. And never had any problem with moisture.
But you know why? Because you were preheating those wheel weights
Yeah.
on that slide. They were laying there for more than a few minutes. They were warming up right off the bat.
Yeah, because it wouldn't go into the pot unless it had started to melt and the seam would come off and go in. And then oil fires and that kind of stuff didn't bother me at all. Just let it burn. It'll burn off, make a little bit of smoke.
Oil will burn off. You're right.
And
see,
I got
I've
light of
got
some kind going on.
yeah. These were on Woot a couple weeks ago for $20. I got 2 of these plus the stands and everything. They got filters I can put on them. They're USB powered little lights on stands. So I'll actually have some better lighting when I go to do demos.
Yeah. We've run into that problem just
Mhm.
with your reloading press.
Yep. So
Looks like we got a first timer here, Mike. in the
No, I
gallery?
think he was saying he was first because I don't think he saw Clifford.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to you anyway, George Grip.
So,
George Grip SK. Welcome to you anyway.
ooh, betcha. So, Alaska Russ thinks a casting episode would be awesome. So yeah, I plan on doing them. So I just what I gotta do is I gotta get, well, first off, I gotta get my 30-pound propane tanks recertified and filled. And then get stuff set up for that. So
Good luck with that, Mike. 30 pounds, hard to get recertified.
no.
No?
Mm-mm.
I'll have to find out because I got two. I think I got two of them.
No, you just, we've got a couple of gas companies around here. You just take them in there.
Okay.
So, so hang on just a second here. So one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is I was listening to one of the other shows on the network, which is Let's Go Hunt. And they just did their shout out to those guys. They just recorded their 100th episode. And they were doing some talking about hunter safety. And then one of the things they had mentioned about safety and preparing is a lot of people, waterfowlers, don't necessarily always think about it. But one of the reasons to kind of, when you're talking to some of the nutballs that are, let's face it, let's be honest, some of the waterfowlers are really off their freaking rocker. All right. Okay. You know who you are. We love you anyway. But dudes.
Come
You're
on, let's
being too
face
nice
it.
to him, Mike.
Somebody who wants to go out in the freezing cold, wet rain and stand in a blind with their face exposed to whatever is happening out there and try to call in or decoy in the ducks or geese has got a loose screw somewhere. Now, there are some places that are nice. I mean, Arkansas has some really nice duck hunting, in the woods. And it's not so bad because it's in the 40s and 50s to hunt there. But let's face it, the Wisconsin people, the the Minnesota people that get out there, and then you got the East Coasters, that are in Maine and that sit in these low boats, punts as they're called, and try to call in ducks. Ah, I don't know.
Hi.
Hi there.
It went full potato. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know what I missed, but so they, a lot of people kind of don't pay attention to the weather always. One of the advantages we have now is these things. So
Smartphone.
yeah, I can, say I want to go hunt tomorrow. I can pull up my forecast and I can pull up any number of forecasting apps that literally will give me an hour by hour. And for the most part, it's pretty accurate nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, basically the next 12 hours in Wisconsin, it's going to stay in the 40s. So, actually up until about 2 o'clock tomorrow, and then the temperature is going to start dropping, and we're supposed to get precip coming in. So, and it's going to drop down in below freezing. So, but I mean, you can do this, and I can scroll through all the way to shooting hours, opening day, and it's supposed to be 32 degrees with no precipitation. So, it won't tell me when necessarily. Sometimes it will, like WeatherBug gives a best. So they've got the feels like, which is your old wind chill. So it's opening day 7 a.m., which isn't quite shooting hours in Wisconsin. It's 6 something, but whatever. It's going to be west northwest winds at 10, and it's going to feel like 24 degrees. So it's going to be a little chilly, especially considering we haven't had that type of weather yet this year. But if you're going to get it, that's about the perfect time to get it. The only thing that would have been better is if we'd got snow Friday night. So I mean, we can pull that up. So 1940, that technology wasn't available. And so November 11th.
11/11.
Yep. Armistice Day, 1940. You hear it called the day the duck hunters died. So the reason that they say that is because it was a lot of duck hunters that were out. So this is from the La Crosse Public Library. This is actually this is a rewrite from the 16th of November 2018. And so they included the original headline from I can't read if it's the 12th or the 13th. Sorry, 13th. From the La Crosse Tribune. Because a lot of the duck hunters that were lost were from the Mississippi River. So, I mean, back then, duck hunting was king. It wasn't deer, it was duck. First off, it was lead shot back then. So, the camera view annoys me. That's better. So, so Minnesota alone that year, there were 120 duck hunters, compared to your average of 80,000 this year. So, so the Weather Bureau in Chicago was only staffed during daytime hours, and so on Sunday, November 10th, the forecast for Monday finally looked like duck hunter friendly weather with clouds, colder temperatures, and either snow flurries. Monday being Armistice Day, now known as Veterans Day, most people had a partial or full day off from school or work. For duck hunters, perfect day to be outdoors. Morning weather did not disappoint. 6 a.m., sun was shining. It was 48 degrees in La Crosse, with temperatures expected to reach 60. Those in the outdoors dressed for the balmy weather. However, by 11 a.m., temps had climbed to 52 degrees, and birds were moving. However, strong storm system had just crossed over the Rockies from the Pacific Northwest, and instead of weakening, as was usually the case, it joined a low pressure system and produced rain before meeting up with an Arctic mass from Canada. To seek shelter from the impending storm, waterfowl were flocking to the Mississippi River Valley. So those guys are out there, and the ducks are just coming. So I mean, you're talking. You're talking ducks coming, trying to find cover, and then all of a sudden after that, um, so between noon and 1, it was still decent weather. 1 o'clock, clouds started rolling in, and the temperature started to drop. Between 1 and 3, all hell broke loose, they said. Um, Winds started gusting from 30 to 45 miles an hour, possibly 60 in some areas. Light rain turned to sleet and then blowing snow. Barometric pressure dropped to 2872. Um, that was a record that stood until 1982, and it's only been passed 3 times in lacrosse: 82, 98, and 2010. So, I mean, you're talking in a matter of 2 or 3 hours, the barometric pressure dropped like almost a full point. So it basically it went from 29, it went like almost 30 down to 2872, which is huge. So
The temperature drop
hmm
at the same time was tremendous,
yeah,
you know. And these hunters were out there without, warm coats or anything else. And like I was saying before, a lot of them hunted the Mississippi in low boats, punt boats,
skiffs.
um, or skiffs. Um,
Yeah, punt boats, skiffs.
yeah,
Um, think of to get an idea, if you take a John boat, cut it in half. So you've got your
this way.
John boat. They're usually about yay tall. You literally take the top half of the John boat and lop it off. Now you got a skiff. So your skiffs are only about like that. So you get
Right.
any sort of wave, they're swamped.
And punt boats are about the same.
Yep.
You know, 4 or 5 inches of draft they have, and they only got 4 or 5 inches above that. And then you add in the winds that were coming at 40, 50 miles an hour, and the wave action and everything else. A lot of these people just drowned and froze to death and drowned because they couldn't get anywhere near back to land where they put in. How many hunters was it they figured?
So they estimated 85. But here's the thing. So by 4 p.m., the temperature was 28 degrees. So it went from 52 to 28 in 4 hours. And remember, all these hunters were expecting a high of 60. So they were dressed for that. So you're talking pants, maybe some even in shorts, given it's Wisconsin. Um, maybe like a denim shirt at best, maybe a light flannel.
They'd wear their duck coat, because that was normal, but it wasn't enough
No,
underneath it to take care of them,
yeah.
you know.
So
But yeah, they had, it was, and it kept going down. People don't understand that it was 28 by 5, but it
yeah,
was going down into the low teens, by 8:30, 9 o'clock, and with snowstorms that were coming through and everything else. Um, the unprepared didn't have much of a chance.
mm-mm.
And what we're trying to bring up here is think of your safety when you go out on a hunt, on any type of hunt, as far as, you know, keeping yourself warm, uh, you know, having water and a way to keep hydrated. Um, don't do the Wisconsin, Minnesota thing and think that the beer and the booze are going to keep you warm, because they have exactly the opposite effect. Um,
No, here's the thing, Paul. People don't normally think about keeping hydrated in cold weather. I'm not sweating. How I should keep my water consumption up?
oh yeah, cold, hot, medium. Keep your, you know, you have to keep your consumption up. You have to keep your body
Mm-hmm.
hydrated. You know, and then you know, you have the problem of the cold affecting you, and you know, your head loses the most heat. Um, your feet lose, you know, are the same, and you have to be able to take care of your body in order to survive things like that. Um,
If you look at some of the infrared surveys that are out there, the human head wicks off heat like a candle gives off light and heat.
mhm.
So do the feet, and so do exposed hands.
You know, we're so much better off nowadays than back then. You know, we have you know, 40 different types of insulation that are lightweight. Um, you know, Gore-Tex and things that keep us dry. Um, uh, you know, chemical warmers, the for you know, for our hands. You know,
Yep,
don't be afraid to
hand
put
and
them in
pocket
your
warmers.
you know, don't be afraid to put you know, the warmers in your shoes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in your armpits, to keep, you know,
Yep.
to keep things, you know, keep your core up.
Yeah,
If you can keep your core temperature up, you have a
better survival rate.
better survival rate.
Um,
You know.
pull your arms in your inside to your jacket sleeves. Don't leave them in your sleeves. Pull them into your main area. So,
Hmm.
um, uh, this is. I mean, you're talking. There was ships that sank on the Great Lakes because of this storm. Over a foot of snow. You had some areas in Minnesota and Wisconsin that had 20-foot drifts because of this. Um, one of the things. So I didn't know this. I'm on the weather.gov. So right now, and they're talking about it. So Iowa was second to Michigan in apple production at this time. So they had an ice storm that literally destroyed the apple industry in Iowa,
Hmm.
killed off all of the trees, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apple trees that were killed. So basically, that's why Iowa went to corn and grain. It's because of that storm. So they had severe weather, including tornadoes, wind, extreme winter weather, blizzard conditions. So before that day was out, it was down into single digits. And you're talking wind chills of -20. So some people drowned because they were out on water and their boats were swamped, but most of them froze to death. And a lot of it, you know, this storm also affected weather forecasting. La Crosse, starting then, after that, would ring train whistles and church bells if there was a storm coming to notify everybody. So
There were people that they found that were within feet of
of
their
safety.
homes, of their homes.
Yeah.
Okay, that died because they couldn't see and couldn't make it to their house. They weren't prepared.
Yep.
So, but this goes to hunting safety. Okay, you have to be prepared for anything that can happen, and weather is one of the biggest killers of hunters out there. Um, Too cold, too hot, um,
Slippery.
slippery. You get up in a tree stand
Fallout.
and fall out. Everything gets covered with ice. You know, and yeah, it's some of the best time in the world to be out there when it's like that because the deer are moving, ducks are moving, game animals are looking to find shelter. And they're going to go and move through areas that they are going to hunker down in that kind of weather.
Mm-hmm.
And but and we got Homo sapiens who are a little light in the thinking and not being prepared. And I can understand in 1918 when something like this happened because they didn't have a lot of information and nowadays when we hear about something like this, um, it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. How many people fall out of tree stands every year, right?
Yeah. Even though um, we
Safe,
teach safety now. We
right?
teach how to use it in hunter safety classes. We actually have demonstrations on how to set up tree stands, how to rig your harness lines, how to rig your safety pull lines for hauling up um, your gear. And people are still pulling up loaded guns and shooting themselves, or they're still not hooking themselves into a tree and falling out.
Uh-huh. Look at all the safety harnesses that hunters have now that they didn't have before that are full H harnesses that, if you fall out of the tree, the worst that's going to happen to you is you're going to be upside down for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Um, yeah, you know, uh, for $100 is cheap insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And the thing you got to be careful of is making sure you get the right harness. I've seen people use climbers harnesses, and the thing you got to be careful. The reason that a tree stand harness is the way it is it's built in with webbing that is built to decelerate as you're
mhm.
falling, so you don't have a sudden stop. Whereas some of your climbing harnesses don't have that because they're counting on the ropes and stuff to do that. So if you don't have something to do that, then that can be a bad thing too. So
Yeah, climbing rope is a very specialized rope that has a lot of stretch to it,
mm-hmm.
and um, a tree stand rope that you want is not going to have a lot of stretch to it because you may only be falling 15 feet or something like that, which is enough to kill you, but you want that harness to be able to sit down and say, okay, I have 3 feet of webbing that is stitched together to absorb the shock of me coming down. And a climbing harness is only going to support the um, your lower portion, your your legs and waist, whereas a safety harness is going to be an H type that's going to come in and fasten up by your uh, by your neck.
Yep.
So a lot of difference in that. A lot of difference. So you know, um, yeah. Make sure you're tied into the tree. Make sure you have a separate line and to raise and lower your unloaded gun to to your stand along with
And
your backpack.
your non-cocked crossbow.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's another thing. Don't be lazy with your knot. A guy I work with went out over the weekend and just did a simple single knot with his crossbow. It got about 2 feet off the ground and undid itself.
Ooh.
So he had to crawl all the way back down, retie it, and then go back up. And as he's in the process of doing this, guess what comes out?
The bolt.
Nice big 8-pointer.
Ooh.
Guess what he didn't see again to have a shot at? That nice big 8-pointer.
A neat, handy thing to have along, guys, is a carabiner to put on the end of your line to bring things up with.
Yep.
Okay. You tie it up good beforehand, and then you've got a weight to lower it down and raise it up and do all the kind of fun things you want to do. Yeah, it's just it's just an easy way to safely raise things up. Um, yeah, don't go climbing up the tree stand with your gun or bow or crossbow and your backpack, and you got 40 pounds of extra stuff you normally don't carry anyway because you're dressed up in warm clothing and boots that you're not used to, and um, then you got a backpack and a 10-pound gun and all kinds of other things that you're up there, half a dozen calls, your antlers to rattle with, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, lower your rope down, or hook it up first.
One
Test
thing
it.
I've done on the few times I've actually hunted out of a tree stand is I've got all that crap in a bag. So what'll happen is I'll get my, is I will take that up, like a backpack preferably, so that can go up with me. If it can't, then what I'll do is I've actually got a second rope on the stand that's anchored up there already. And so what I can do is I can actually hook both ropes to the two things that I got to pull up. Obviously the bag and then the weapon that I'm going to use. So then I can pull both things up. So, but you want to definitely make sure you have more than one rope because ropes fail. And if you don't have another rope, then you got problems. So, but so STL Ammo Man said, or just sit safely in a recliner and order venison online. Stay warm, stay safe, get food.
Well, okay, you know, you
Yeah,
can do
to
all
each
that,
their
but
own.
you can't, you know, um, but there's always that part of the hunt that you sit down and have to go through, and you know, it takes, 10 extra minutes to be safe.
Hmm.
Okay. I got lots of 10-minute times to be safe, if you talk about going hunting. So, you're going, if you got a week and you're going to be gone for a week hunting, okay, that's, that's extra 10 minutes each time is not a big deal,
Hmm.
you know. Um, the thing I'm going to beef about big time is hunters who want to use their rifle scope as a pair of binoculars. Um, I don't know about you guys, but um, having a high-powered rifle pointed at me is not conductive to me feeling safe out there.
No, not at all.
And I hunt with a pair of binoculars, and uh, that's you know the right way to do it. To be able to look and glass and do things, and once I've identified game, then I'll bring my scope up and do and prepare to dispatch to the the Bambi. But yeah, I don't like people who use rifle scopes to um, glass the area they're hunting. You
Nope,
know,
not cool.
um, you know.
I have
Well,
I've seen some of that stuff, and I've warned people. I said, binoculars. That's what your binoculars are for. And who don't have a pair, so I handed them a pair because I always carry extras. Because after all, kids, two is one, one is none. And so I handed him a pair, and I said, and I would recommend using these because I shoot back. And I walked away. So, what were you going to say, Jim?
I was just going to say when I first started hunting years ago, and I don't hunt anymore, but when I first started hunting, I didn't know about. Didn't even think about buying binoculars. Paul, I'm not trying to justify aiming a gun at anybody, but noticed Raggle Fraggle put a comment up that he was guilty. I'm going to guess and wild guess, assume whatever. He's guilty of the same thing that I was, using my rifle as a rifle scope as my binoculars. Well, now I have binoculars and I have rifle scopes. I'm guilty. My hands up there, right up there with the best of them.
See these? They've been around 50, yeah, close to 50 years.
Yep.
You know, good set of Pentex, and um, would you believe I bought a better set of binoculars than I bought rifle scope at the time?
I
Yeah.
believe it. Wrangle Fraggle, you text that like that's a problem.
Good job, Raggle Fraggle. We do have some maniacs on this show in this gallery. I love them all.
Yep.
Well, hell, guy,
So
look at these two hosts. Mike and I have been here for 10 years. Gotta be something loose going on inside these brains. Too much lead in inhalation or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know you've been shooting longer than I have. Because I come out of the Navy, I was 25, 30 years. I didn't start really shooting until 1980.
Mm.
I didn't start reloading, I should say.
I didn't start reloading until the 80s. Okay, early 80s. Very early 80s, excuse me, 70,
Yep.
late 70s, I should say, late 70s. But shooting and hunting was, um, you know, 6, 7 years old. You know, they started. My dad started me shooting and hunting. Um, so, uh, yeah, I've been the stress, the stress part of hunting with a father who was very strict as far as gun safety, hunting safety, and um, courtesy was a big thing
Mm-hmm.
with him. Um, if
Well, you see, Paul, you had a big advantage. You had a mentor, your father. I started in the woods with a gun, orange hat, orange vest, and coat. I lived on a farm and I started hunting the woods in the farm. I had to learn everything from personal experience. One day I realized I was looking at a gent and seeing Blaze Orange in my rifle scope. It's like, you dumbass, you're trying to kill that guy. That's exactly what I said to myself in my brain. I haven't done it since.
the I don't know if anybody knows Chicago very well, but my dad grew up there, and at the time he would hunt the Maywood area. Okay, now that's way, you know, uh, it's all city now. I mean, you know, the Maywood is all part of, we might as well call it Chicago, but it was just outside of Chicago at the time. And he would take his gun to school and then go pheasant hunting on the way home.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Put it in the code
So,
locker, they used to say,
yep.
or in the
Um,
cloakroom, coat room.
you know, the I remember the first hunting jacket I got was a hand-me-down from him. Okay, you know, it was the old days of the wax canvas um, hunting coats
Uh-huh.
and wax canvas. I don't know you guys ever seen it, but it is waterproof. You can be out in the rain and the snow with it,
Oh yeah.
and it is waterproof. Um, but when you're 12 years old, um, you do not fit your dad's clothes. So we had to make a few adjustments in order so I could bring my
Move.
shotgun up. Yeah, bring my shotgun up to shoot. And I think he did that on purpose, you know, so I wouldn't shoot as many birds as he did, you know. But you know, back to safety, you know, and those that was what was drilled into my head at in those ages from 6 to 12, when, you know, from BB gun at 6 to first shotgun at 12, um, you know, that was drilled into my head, you know, gun safety, you know, how to
Yep.
carry a gun, how to carry a gun in the field, okay? You know, where is it pointed? Where is everybody? Stay in a line, you know, when you're hunting. You know, when you get into heavy corn, you know, call out, let everybody know where you're at. Um, yeah, it was just that safety was drilled in. Nowadays we have, like Mike said, you know, hunter safety, where we really take a a person and try to teach them the rules that they should follow. I'm not saying they will, but what they should follow. And it's important. It just general safety is important. Um, Getting back to preparing, you know, um, I keep when I go hunting, I keep an extra bag in my would keep an extra bag in my truck to in case something happened, you know,
Hmm.
you know, um, warm coats, or you know, extra water. Uh, One of the things that I used to keep was a wool blanket in there, the old army blanket, you know, the ones that are green and itch like crazy.
Yep.
Um, Little things like that. Uh, Snickers bars, always
Hmm.
good. Um, Not until I got older did I realize that, you know, medical stuff was important to have. Um, that was that was driven in during the 70s, um, with the military, and how much easier it's gotten
Hmm.
to treat people or yourself with uh, wounds. Let's put it as wounds because things happen. You get
Yeah.
there with a knife on a deer, and all of a sudden you slip and you cut yourself. Um, you got to be able to stop the bleeding or whatever. Um, the knives that we have are so much sharper now as far as
Oh
dressing
yeah.
the
I mean,
deer out.
depending on the one
Yeah,
you get, they've got them out there now that are literally surgical steel.
yeah,
So it's
and
basically like carrying a scalpel around.
and you can you can do everything right and still cut yourself, but the sharper the knives are nowadays, the less chance you have of doing that. Um, People talk about, you know, processing deer and everything else. I just learned to process deer myself. I just, you know, I had an old timer teach me how to process a deer. That's all.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Couple of things that come in handy that I never thought about, but um, the old timer kept a sawzall around.
Hmm.
Um, uh, you know,
Hacksaw. I've used a hacksaw to cut the breastbone open.
yeah,
New blade.
yeah. But they use you know, a DeWalt recip saw.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
that's it. You know,
I'll
and you
tell you,
can open
Paul.
everything up.
I've used a buck knife to open up the rib cage. You know, split the rib cage right down from neck to the
Yeah,
sternum. That's when I learned about sharp knives. Because
yeah,
my knife, I sharpened it myself. And when I did that, I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing?
yep,
Yep, you just
yep,
find that line of gristle on the ribs between the breastbone and the rib itself. Comes right out.
yeah. But I've seen people attack a breastbone with a hatchet.
Hmm.
Oh,
You know, but they don't know better. You know, I have regular meat saws. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
the 20 to 24-inch meat saws that I've used. You know, but back to hunter safety and hunting safety. Um, keep an emergency kit with you to stop bleeding and all that kind of stuff. Ain't much you need.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, you know, you know, talking a whole lot of stuff. Um, I think if it took up, you know, a hip pocket, you would be, you know, over prepared for most of it. Um, a cravat, a Sam splint, a couple of gauze, rolls of gauze, um, some elastic bandage, and if it's really bad, you can get some quick clot, and all of that is $90, and you put it in a plastic baggie, stick it in your pants pocket, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We got any hunters that are out there that are allergic to anything?
Carry your EpiPen if you've got.
Yep. If you're allergic to, to bee stings and all that kind of stuff, wasp and all that, which are always active in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, just one more thing to take with you. And, I got a pack that I have sitting over there that is my truck, used to be my truck bag, and change of clothes, extra socks, uh, rain jacket, uh, 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 yeah, a goose down vest in it, uh, a couple of bottles of water in there. Um, I carry a small uh, multi-fuel stove in it that's uses those little round cans, a cup, and a couple of freeze-dried meals, and yeah, plus rope and all that other good stuff. Doesn't doesn't yeah, it weighs a little bit. I got to tell you, um, it'd weigh less if I didn't put all the game bags and all that kind of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, just stuff to have in the truck to help you be safe.
Yep.
And then oh,
JT Schwing said if you carry an EpiPen, make sure it's close to your body if it's cold
mhm.
out. So, speaking of allergic, Woodman says he's got a friend. Excuse me. He said he's got a friend who's allergic to deer hair. So guess who guts and skins his deer? So that's a nice, yeah.
I had a guy uh, that was the same way. allergic to deer hair, but went deer hunting every year.
Yeah.
So, uh, ah, ethics. How about ethics out in the field?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know how many of the guys here get off some good sound shots.
Get off what?
Some good sound shots.
I
They
heard
heard
it, so
some.
I shot.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's pretty prevalent up here.
shooting at sound. Okay, my
But
mistake.
to be fair,
Yeah.
most of the people who are doing that are the Fed.
Yeah.
We just lost you, Mike.
So
He'll be back.
yeah, he'll be back. Yeah, we, know what you're shooting at, know what's behind what you're shooting at, and know where the other hunters are that may be in your area, so you're not shooting down a lane where they may be. Um, you know,
I don't know them word for word verbatim, but I know the first rule of safety is never point a firearm at anything you're not willing to destroy. No, I'm wrong. It's treat every firearm as if it were loaded.
right. Yeah. Every gun is loaded, period. So when you get it, you pick it up, you open the action, you check to see. So,
You bet.
then we don't point at anything we're not willing to destroy, and
Mm-hmm.
we know what's behind our target. So
Mm-hmm.
if we pull the trigger and we miss, we don't hit somebody or that's in it.
You know, JT Swing's got a good one here. I'm gonna put it up on screen, and that is he had a guy in Minnesota get shot and he died from it opening weekend. You think about that. We're on the talking about ethics. You accidentally shoot somebody in the field and they die on you. How are you going to feel the rest of your life, even if you was totally innocent? No, nothing malicious intent whatsoever. Truly negligent shooting, accidental shooting. I told you I've had two of them. One of them almost involved a human being. How are you going to feel when you put that thing through the guy's head?
Yeah.
No, no thanks.
It's one thing to do it in combat. It's another thing to do it, by accident.
Amen.
You know, so there he is.
Oh, my computer was being dumb.
JT, there are quite a few people who die on opening weekends in all 50 states. Okay, it's kind of a sad situation that it happens. Um, you know, um, people people get up in the tree stands and they'll hang their orange jacket above them and they forget it when they go to climb down and someone sees some movement down there, doesn't really take the time to see what he's shooting at and shoots. Okay. Um, you know, I've I haven't seen it all, but I've heard all about it, all the accidents and everything else that happen. And I don't know what I would do if I had shot somebody that way by accident.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what I would do, especially if he had a wife and kids and everything else. The what it would take uh, on my soul to I don't know how I could make it up to them.
So Wisconsin 2023, no fatalities. Nationwide, um, kind of hodgepodge. AI all AI overview says there was several. North Carolina, there was 5. Texas, 1 maybe. Virginia, 1. Pennsylvania had 2. So Illinois had at least 2. So, but yeah, yeah, GPS is a must-have.
Well, a lot of us have telephones that we take out in the field with us that have GPS built
Don't
into
count
them.
on it.
I'm just saying a lot of us have,
And
but
I'm saying don't count on it because you
right.
absolutely have to have, unless you have one of the very few mapping programs that do not need a cell signal to work. With a cellular phone, you have to have a cell signal.
Okay.
With an honest to God GPS, like a Garmin or I've got an older Lowrance iFinder, you do not have to have cell signal. It's just straight GPS mapping. So I don't need cell phone. Because where I hunt, which is Baraboo Bluffs, there's a lot of times there's no cell service, literally. Which is really weird when you think about it where it is. It's not like I'm in the middle of the Nicolet National Forest.
Yeah.
Where I am, I'm literally probably, as the crow flies, 5 miles from the city of Baraboo.
And no cell service.
And I'm literally about, as the crow flies, 1.5 miles maybe off a major highway. No cell service. So yeah, Onyx is a good app, even if you don't pay for the subscription. The basic app still works great, and it works without having cell service. So, but also cell phones aren't always the most durable, whereas your GPS units usually are. So, plus the other thing is if it's searching for GPS towers, it can drain your cell battery real quick, whereas the actual GPS units are designed to be energy conservation friendly while they're searching. So, but I always run the Energizer lithium batteries in mine anyway, and I always check them. So my buddy didn't.
Well,
He went out earlier this year
thing,
bow hunting.
the good thing about GPS devices is the fact that they pull the signal from the satellites themselves.
Yeah, not a third party.
They do not pull from the cell towers.
So actually, on a lot of your like Onyx, cell phones have the capability of pulling direct from the GPS satellites.
Okay.
So when you're running like Onyx or something like that, it'll pull straight from the satellites. It won't pull cell signal. So.
Boy, that I didn't know.
So. Some of them will, some of them won't. So I don't know. I haven't honestly with Onyx. I haven't tried turning on airplane mode to see. So. But that's
I
the
put
thing
that
about
comment from JT
Yep.
Swing up on screen.
yeah, Onyx has the tracking app, so you can use that. Turn off your mobile data. It'll help save your battery. JT Schwing. Remember where the Badger Army ammunition plant was? So you're going past Devil's Lake and you climb the bluff, and then you go back down the backside of that hill, and then there was the ammunition plant. I'm literally at the top of that hill, a mile to the west of Highway 12 is where I'm hunting, and I have no cell service. So yeah, he knows exactly. But yeah, Woodman is up north in Wisconsin. Cell service is garbage. But we're spoiled. Go out to Wyoming, go out to Idaho, go out to Montana, even Colorado, even western Nebraska. When you pull up your national coverage maps and you're looking at giant swaths of uncovered areas, it's those states. There's literally no coverage. If you don't have a
forget
stat
the
phone, you're
Dakotas.
screwed. So, but but yeah, make sure that you've got you've got a way to get out if you got lost. Take an orienteering course and get a decent compass.
Magnetic compass.
That's why I said get a decent compass.
Yep.
So, a lot of areas, especially your tech colleges and stuff. So I don't know if they do anymore. Used to do orienteering classes. Let's see what the web says.
Well, let's ask a question. If you're traveling to the west to your hunting spot, and then in the evening you're done, which direction do you turn to return back to your vehicle or wherever you started hunting from?
Boy, it could be any different ways because out west, you're going up and down mountains and through valleys and everything else. So, and some of the places um, are not uh, foot accessible easily. If you don't have a GPS, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But like Mike we and I were talking about using a compass when you came back.
Yeah, compass is nice, but you have a reference point, to work off of.
Right.
You just can't sit down with a compass and say, I headed south, okay, and I'm going to turn around and head north, and a compass doesn't do you much good. It really doesn't. I mean, I carry a compass.
Yeah, you have to have reference points.
Yeah,
So there is actually a program called orienteeringusa.org. And so they've got some online classes going on there that you can do, online videos and training and stuff. Otherwise, REI looks like they offer some stuff. There's betterorienteering.org also, and some other stuff. There's probably some orienteering clubs, but what you can do is you can do orienteering classes near me. But it's a good thing to have. What you can do and what you can do with this, and like Paul said, if you don't have a reference point, it's kind of useless. Here's the thing: is it's part of your prep. Is you generate your reference points before you go in, and you pick, certain amount of reference points, and then you have those planned. So Check with your school district rec program. Sometimes they have them too. So. But yeah, you have to have that reference point. You can't just. It's not like the Saturday morning cartoons when we were kids, where they'd be lost all of a sudden. The Boy Scout would whip his compass out and off they go.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but Oder, you're on an island. Eventually, you're going to find water. Or lava, I guess. Yeah, you don't want to find the lava. Never mind. So,
look, if you're going to go out someplace where you don't know what's happening, or the chance of you getting lost, one of these SpotX two-way Bluetooth satellite messengers, you can hit a button and it will set an SOS out for you, and with your exact location. And
Garmin makes an option too. Six Pack Project, also in Wisconsin's. Most of your, it's a base in the International Hunters Education Association curriculum. So, but yeah, Garmin makes one. Apple and Google are both working on having satellite integration with their smartphones as an option in the future for that type of purpose. So
a GPS, some way that if you're going out to places where it could be, you could get lost, you could have problems.
Excuse me. Sorry, Chris.
One of these spot messengers are for the money, it's pretty handy. I have about four of the cheap Garmin GPSs that I have set up for the farm.
Mm-hmm.
So I could send people out here. It's dark out. You don't know where you're going to go. Follow this track, and it'll take you to your stand. Just different, but then again, you take even one of those cheap GPSs, and you can just hit backtrack, and you can just follow your way back. So if you're lost in the woods or something like that, you can use that to follow to make your way out. Yeah, there's there's lots of little things that make
So
it.
Garmin has a couple of. I was just gonna
Yeah.
go back. So Garmin's got the InReach series. And then they also have a couple of their actual GPS handhelds that have the satellite communicator built in. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to pay a lot more for those, but then you've got it all in one. So they've got all sorts of different things and stuff, and so you can do two-way messaging, and then they've got the SOS thing. So, but a lot of times just the little basic GPSs will get you through. So
I think Garmin even makes a watch that's got GPS on it, right?
quite a few.
Yeah. And some of the watches have ballistic programs in them too.
Sean Heron's got one, I think. Excuse me. So Garmin actually has a few different options that have built-in GPS for watch. Now they're not cheap, kids. So, but it looks like even their Vivo Active 5, which is one of their $200 ones, the Forerunner 165 GPS enabled. I don't know if you can like GPS track with it or it's just for tracking running. Because it just gives you an option of that. So, but I'm narrowing it down to hiking, and it gives me the fancier watches. So, well, they get some freaking expensive watches.
Yeah.
Part of the orienteering thing I remember from the military days is you can actually use an analog watch to find north.
Yeah, that's why they got the spin dials on the older style watches.
Right.
Yep.
You probably have something in your own watch, Mike, that you didn't even realize you had.
Mine's got Google Maps on it. I don't know how accurate it is because I've never bothered to figure it out because I don't need to because I don't trust my watch for that. That's what my GPS is. Six-pack project depends on what they're using. Most of your newer ones aren't just using the original GPS satellites. So most of them, like the newer, like this watch I'm looking at right now from Garmin, the Instinct 2, actually uses GPS, GLONASS, and Galileo. So, for references. But, and this one does have track back routing, and it has reference points. This one is $200 right now on sale. Normally $300. It's the Instinct 2. Comes in a couple different sizes. Actually, it comes solar powered too. And it's got standard or tactical. So, but it's a smartwatch, so you can pair it up with your. So, it's not like a Pixel Watch or an Apple Watch or anything like that. So it doesn't operate like that. It's not like you're going to get your notifications and stuff on there and stuff. It's designed to have a longer life battery, so there's only certain. It's limited in what it does as far as your phone messaging and stuff. It's not like my watch where I can pull up radar maps and stuff like that. So it's not a color screen and all that. But yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff that you can do.
Mike, speaking of GPS, I think I'm going to take the GPS and head myself to the high country.
Are you sure? You might get lost on your way to bed.
Smart ass. I take
Better
his
find
shit
the
from him
wife.
every show, guys. I take his crap from him every show.
You better
Or
find the
shall I
wife
never
and
just
have her
go
help
back? Yeah. I never give it back to you, do I, Mike?
No, not at all.
All right. Good night, everybody. Hey,
Good night,
guys,
Jim.
hit the
Good night,
like
Jim.
button out there. Hit the like button, guys. Don't forget that, please. It does help. Good night, everyone. I'm gone. Bye bye.
Good night.
Ooh, crikey.
Yeah. There you go.
What the hell is that? Is that a wrist-mounted GPS?
Yes, wrist mounted GPS with applied ballistics in it.
Ooh.
And it's also compatible with in-reach devices and all that kind of stuff. So
Bum, 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 bum. What the heck is that called?
that is the Fortrex
Fortrex.
901. So everybody,
Ooh. Runs off two AA or AAA batteries.
hmm
Oh, that's funny. So when they suggested on the bottom, it lists an eTrex solar GPS. So my buddy whose batteries were bad in his GPS, I pulled that one up and sent it to him. I said, here, you don't have to worry about your batteries dying. Although I
Yeah.
actually texted him and I said I wasn't going to figure out a way to DoorDash you batteries, but I figured you'd get lost trying to get back to your truck. And he goes, and why are we friends again? I said, for this exact reason.
Yeah. If you're using a battery operated device, extra batteries, guys, and
Absolutely.
use the lithium if you can get them.
Yeah. Tactics 7 Pro Ballistics Edition is the watch that Sean has. But I think I'd rather have the 801 because it looks like it's got a bigger display.
Yeah, it's got a big display. You know, you can. You know, it gives you. You know, all the your shooting and. You know. As if it handles. You know. You know, the ballistic calculator. You know, you're going to be applied ballistics.
So the dimensions on that thing is 2.9 inches by 1.9 inches.
And with your smartphone, you can it will Bluetooth to your smartphone,
Mm-hmm.
so you can pull up your location and everything else in there. So
Yep.
uh, so with this,
I'll be
we
right
go
back.
in. Okay. With this, guys, we start to think about it's that magical time of year coming. We have the holidays, Christmas, Black Friday. I don't know if there's a Black Friday anymore. Everybody is selling everything and putting everything on sale now. So JT, lithium can be temperature sensitive. If it's extremely cold, it can reduce. Yeah, I agree. but you bring a couple of extra AAA regular batteries with, which are nothing, and keep them warm. They'll work. And depending upon the grid coordinates that you get from your GPS and how it's written relates to the mapping software that's out there. So you can you get your GPS has a selection of mapping coordinates that it will give off, and it will go to reference a map and actual coordinate to within the plus or minus, 15, 20 feet, which out in the mountains can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah. 20 feet to the left is, could be a
long way down.
Yeah, short step for to lose elevation quickly. So I was saying that looking at this stuff here we're talking about now, Black Friday.
Yeah.
The holidays. The holidays are coming. You got to make your list to check it twice or 3 times and put it underneath the nose of who you expect to buy things for you. Ha ha. And look to where you can buy some new toys. So anything special out there, Mike?
So one of the big things for all you RCBS fans is they are running a where the hell? So they're running a special right now. And it's what the hell? Pain in the ass. Irritating me.
Yeah.
All right, so RCBS has a deal going on right now. Buy green, get green. The problem is they don't list that on the website, but it's actually buygreengetgreen.com, and it's valid 11/15 to 12/31. If you spend $100 to $249 or $100 to $250, you get a $35 rebate. If you spend $250 to $400, you get a $75 rebate. $400 or more, you get a $100 rebate. So there's a mail-in form, but you can also do it online. It looks like. Yeah, so you can do it online or you can mail it in if you're, old school. So, but it's not like Menards Kids where you got to spend it back there. So it's actually an honest to God, they're going to send you back money. So yeah, if you're buying some RCBS stuff for the fall, you get some money back. And there's places that are running sales. Groff's has got some sales on it. Midway, I think Brownells. So, I was looking for Black Friday specials. I didn't really see a lot. So, unfortunately, fortunately for them, unfortunately for all of us, companies have gotten back to really locking down their Black Friday stuff. I have Bass Pros because I got that flyer in the mail today. They've got their Savage Access combos again. Dude, if you're looking to get a rifle to start, $379.99. If you've got the Cabela's or Bass Pro MasterCard, $300. It's a solid shooter out of the box. The scope is a Weaver 3-9x40, so you take that off, throw it away, and put a Vortex or something else on it. And you've got honestly a lifetime shooter. So it will hunt deer. It will do what you want it to do. The barrels are accurate. It's got it's got some adjustability built into it. So they're not garbage by any means. So it's got a Two Timber Strata Cambo on it, which is exclusive to Bass Pro and Cabela's. So the other nice thing is here's a tip on these Access XPs. So on the full size, they have the rubberized butt pad, and then they have a little black plastic insert, and then they have the stock. That black insert is the exact space difference between the full-size rifle and the compact rifle. So you pull that insert out, put the butt pad back on, ta-da, compact rifle. So then when your shooter gets bigger, away you go. For those of you into fishing, they've got a whole bunch of electronics on sale for your fishing. Most of the Bass Pro Cabela's stuff is all week long. Now on Black Friday, they're doing their gift card giveaway anywhere from $10 to $500. Most of them are $10, but occasionally you get lucky. So first 250 customers again. So, and if you've got the card, 0 interest for 12 months on anything $500 or more. We've got some trail cams, some ammo. If you're looking for that, they have. This is all Black Friday only. They've got some rods and reels on sale. Helix 12, Chirp Mega SI Plus is $1,500 instead of $2,700 normally. Their XPS cordless fillet knives half off. That's $50. So if you're lazy and you want some way to fancy sharpen your knives, they've got the Work Sharp Ken Onion knife and tool sharpener for $100, normally $140. So I've got one. I actually like it. It's got little powered one, works pretty nice. So other different things, rangefinders. They've got a metal detector, some grills, some furniture, a lot of clothing. So some of the places are actually putting some of their stuff online, so you can kind of check it out. One of the things I thought was kind of cool for those of you who have family that feed birds, they've got a Feather Snap Scout Wi-Fi Smart Bird Feeder, $150. Most of these Wi-Fi camera bird feeders that I've seen are $250 or more, so that's not a bad gig. They've also got the lacrosse wind and rain weather station. Normally $200, it's 130. So if you're a weather nerd, there you go, get her done. So a lot of different things, check it all out. So, but some other guns on special. Safes, accessories. No reloading stuff in the catalog at all. Bastards. So, some rimfire ammo on sale, which, as we all know, is a pain in the ass to load. So, if you want a plinker, Walther P22Q for $200, kids. Can't beat a little 22 pistol. So, comes with 2 10-round magazines. So, if you're looking for a little 9mm to play with, they've got the SAR compact semi-auto for $250. It comes with 2 15-round mags. It's basically like a Glock 19. I've actually shot them. They're pretty good. They've also got a Ruger 1022, comes with a scope and everything for $250, and it also has a hard case. So, always could use another 1022. They've got some other safes and stuff. Trying to think of other stuff that I've seen for Black Friday deals. Let me see here.
Got Arkans up here right now. They got 30% off. They're normally 25% off, and using the code, now they're giving you an extra 5% off. So that's one place that I've seen. And that's everything that they sell. So, from their night vision stuff to their scopes and everything. Oh, what do we got here? Steve. Oh, I'm not sure. Yes, you can use an EJ-123 to trickle up powder charges. You just have to understand it's you have to give it the time to really settle down. But yes, I use a 123 a lot, and it works. And it's a good scale. Comparable to FX 120i, no, but your 120i is about 580 now, and a 123 is 360, in that range, and it works well. It is sensitive to temperatures.
Shields has got some excuse me, optics on sale.
I have not seen any Kestrels out on deals yet. And the 5700 series is pretty rare to find those. But I have not seen them online anywhere.
Oh, one thing, if you're looking for the Garmin Chrono and you do have a Cabela's or Bass Pro credit card, Mondays between now and December 23rd, they are running a 15% off coupon. either
Ooh.
in store or online. So you can
Ooh.
get that Garmin Chrono for 15% off. So that's probably about as cheap as you're going to find it. So
What do they want? $5.99 for it?
yeah.
So that'd bring you down just about $500, guys.
Shields does not have their stuff online. They teased.
Okay.
So by the way, that blackfriday.com allegedly is a scam. So from what I've been hearing. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of places that have been really knocking down the access to.
Midway USA is going to have from November 25th to December 2nd their cyber Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
So they're not listing any reloading gear.
I didn't see anything for reloading gear on sale anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, their app is horrible. So JT Schwing said, I really like my Garmin chronograph, just wish they'd have more app features. Yeah, their app is garbage. Just absolute trash. And the fact that they haven't updated it since June. At least on Android side. That's the one nice thing about the LabRadar is LabRadar app's a lot better. You can do a lot more things with it. You can actually control the LabRadar from the app where you can't with the Garmin. The Garmin, you still have to do everything on the friggin' touchscreen. So Billy said Brownells has got the coax for $329. Actually, I think Frankfurt Arsenal was running this now. Come to think of it. Guess not. So. Just so you know, if you're ordering from Titan, reloading, they have suspended all back ordering and pre-ordering. So that gives you an idea of everything's getting busier. And pretty cool. They actually have a link for their appearance with us on their main page. So that's awesome. That wasn't there the last time I was on their main page. So yeah. But one thing I recommend, go to Titan Reloading, sign up for Dennis's monthly newsletter. He's always got some pretty good info and tips in there. So, but I was just checking to see if they had any sales coming up. So I don't see anything there. Let's see, Mid-South. Mid-South's running a primer sale right now. They got a primer sale. Ooh. I want Fiocchi ammo. I mean, it's not much of a sale, but they've got the Lee anniversary, the 40th anniversary kit on a little sale. So, the primers are $69 or $79.99 for 1,000, depending. So, but got a bunch of SK rimfire stuff in stock now too. So, anyway, Magtech. I haven't personally used them, but I haven't heard anything bad about them. How about you, Paul?
I got so many large rifle primers right now. I'm good for a long time, but no, I have not heard anything bad. No one has said anything online or anything.
So, yeah, I don't really see a lot of reloading related. The big thing is that RCBS, buy green, get green. So, that's about it. That's all I see out there. So, but yeah. So yeah, make sure I guess to sum everything up, make sure you've got a way to get back to your vehicle. If you get lost, make sure that you have a way to keep the blood in. And, so make sure that you've got a way to stay warm. Those little $3 Mylar space blankets don't take up much room, and you'd be amazed at how well they work.
Yep.
I mean, that's ridiculous how well those stupid things work. So,
look into, if you're not a real big guy, look into the survival sleeping bags that they have.
okay.
Okay. They are Mylar on the inside and bright orange on the outside. And they will, because they're like a mummy bag, you have to slide into it.
Mm-hmm.
It will keep you a lot warmer than just a Mylar blanket will.
Right.
But Mylar blankets are $1.50, $2.
Yeah, $3.
Yeah.
Get a couple of them and tape them together.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you need to. So,
I Odor, I have no idea. I used to have somebody that did international shipping, and they seem to have taken it off of their website.
the only thing you do order is talk to Hodgson Direct and see.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. I would start there. But
Ah,
so Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to take away from this. Go listen to who's DAA.
Double Alpha Academy.
Oh, all right. Okay. I don't keep up on all these acronyms you kids use.
They make that 550 case inserter for the for the 550.
Yeah. So.
Which one day I'll show online.
Yeah. I guess Mr. Bullet Feeder does too. So anyway.
Mhm.
So there's probably some smaller companies that are do it. Check it out, and we're still over a week out, so you probably start seeing some stuff coming out over the weekend, maybe. So, if we get any more information, we'll go and talk about it next week too. So, are we doing a show next week?
I think so.
It's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Typically, we don't.
Then don't.
Okay, no show next week. But if I get enough people in Discord that want to do a bullshit, we'll get together and do a bullshit. So, but yeah, no show next week otherwise. So, but I'll post in Discord if I come across any more deals and stuff. So, remember, if you're shopping at Camerado.com, use code RELOAD for 5% off. More importantly, if you want to look as sexy as Paul does in that Reloading Podcast t-shirt,
Yep.
you need to go to our website, which is firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2, and click on that awesome green button that says buy our merch. When you do that, you will be taken to Southern Gals Crafts, and they are having a Christmas sale.
Hear that? They on sale, guys.
You dang right.
And that helps support the show, guys.
So,
and everybody needs to have one of these, at least one of these for Christmas to show your support.
So right now, 15% off everything on the website. So 15% off those awesome t-shirts. 15% off these awesome tumblers. Yeah, baby. So, and all sorts of other cool stuff we got rocking around on there. We got the ATF t-shirts and hoodies too. So swing over there. If you don't want to go through all the hoop jumping, it's excuse me, southerngalscrafts.myshopify.com, and then you can just look for Reloading Podcast merch. Otherwise, the actual URL, it's rather long, but it's southerngalscrafts.myshopify.com/collections/reloading-podcast-merch. So, but yeah, if you just go to Southern Gals Crafts, you can get to the Reloading Podcast area. So, that's funny, Oder. Hey, Oder, I learned about the COD Wars today. Boy, was that a bunch of bullshit. Frickin' Brits throwing their frickin' moronic weight around. You guys got screwed on that deal. Anyway, on that note, keep your brass shiny, keep your powder dry, teach a girl to reload. She might just, and let her pinch off your stash a bit. Hop on the Millstrip short bus. Your turn.
Yeah. And Grandpa told me, he says, don't listen to your mama. Violence does solve problems.
Aim small, miss small, shoot smarter, not harder. Support the Second
And
Amendment, your local, your national, your middle groups. Call your critters elected critters and tell them what you think nicely, politely. Squeeze that trigger. And most importantly, if you're suffering, 988-1-800-273-8255, or for those of you who were lucky enough to be with us for last show, walkthetalkamerica.org. Reach out. Even if you weren't or you don't think, spend some time, pop over to Walk the Talk America and check out the free screenings. They really are non-traceable. It's not like you're going to get a phone call or anything like that and stuff. Check the depression one, check the anxiety one, check the ADHD one, or the PTSD one if you've got, the eating disorder, whatever. So, there's all sorts of good stuff there. And there's all sorts of other good things there for you. So the podcast is pretty good. I've listened to a few already. So it's definitely pretty good. I'm through the early ones. So more, some of it's introductory. So, how it came to being and stuff like that. But there's a lot of good nuggets and stuff in there and some tips and tricks. So definitely worth checking it out. It was awesome having Mike on last week and telling us all about it. And it was awesome to be able to kind of really hear about the program, not just a little bit that I'd heard on Gresham's program. So definitely they're doing great. So
they're helping.
And
They're
it's
helping.
yeah, and it's healthy helping. It's not a case of you have to worry about, oh my God, I'm going to lose my gun rights. You're going to be safe going to do this. And they've got lots of stuff, lots of outreach stuff that you can do too. So make sure you check them out. But if you're in crisis, that's not for in crisis. If you're in crisis, you're thinking about starting a shotgun or, it's gotten really that bad. 988 or 1-800-273-8255, gang. I don't say it lightly. It sounds flippant sometimes when I say it, but we want you here. We need you here, damn it. You may not think it, but I guarantee you there's somebody out there that wants you here. Okay? So if you're struggling, pick up the phone, give them a holler, and get started on the road to recovery. You can get better. So you just got to start the process. Have a good night. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully
Good night,
we'll have
all.
lots of good deer hunting stories and lots of good turkey destroying stories. So.
Yep.
Mine's going on the smoker. Yum. All right. Good night, all.
All right. Good night.